Good morning and welcome to the Point. It is Friday, May 6th, 2022. Thank you to those of you joining us on the GBN, Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the GBN Production YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11 and 20. Good morning to the loyal listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9. Whichever platform you're using this morning, happy to have you, grateful to have you. Thank you so very much for your listenership and your viewership. It is open phone line here, or open line on To The Point at the moment. We are going to give you, our viewers and listeners, an opportunity to call us or message us with anything that you'd like to share, your thoughts and opinions on matters of national, regional, and even international importance. Respectfully so, let me signal a warning. We are in a time of heightened sensitivity in various aspects. And to save myself and the GBN from legal repercussions, any comment that can put us in trouble, whether it be on the phones or social media, especially on the phone, I'll be cutting you off with the quickness. Don't try to put me in problem again. Social media posts, disrespectful posts will be ignored and passed flying colors. So I suggest you please be careful with your words, and we shall have a good time. All right, let's open the phone lines. Landline number 435-2041. That's also the WhatsApp number. And you can also send us your comments, questions, queries, concerns on the GBN, Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, and the GBN Production YouTube channel. First caller this morning. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning to you, Blossom.
Morning.
And to your followers.
Morning.
I wish you could give me a few minutes this morning to explain something that's been in the news for the last week.
3 minutes at the most.
It's a regional matter.
3 minutes at the most.
It has to do with the British Virgin Islands. And as the name suggests, they are British islands. Guyana was once it was known as British Guyana. And after independence, it became Guyana. And now I think it's the corporate Republic of Guyana. We're hearing a lot of talk about these people, about these countries, and about recolonization. These are colonies. You cannot recolonize a colony. They don't have a prime minister, unlike what I'm hearing in the news, even on GBN. They have a premier. They don't have a governor general. They have a governor. So these are not independent countries. So I think there's a lot of misunderstanding, even perpetuated by people who know better. Right? So we have to start from there. These people, they're governed by Britain. In the case of Cayman Islands, in the case of Turks and Caicos Islands, they have not sought any independence because they're doing well. They have some of the highest standard of living in the Caribbean, right? And most of the funds that have been spent are British funds. So we have to see it from that context. Now, we heard of the arrest of this man, but even before that, started over a year ago in January last year, there was an inquiry that went on, and it unearthed gross mismanagement of funds, corruption at all. A very detailed report was presented, and that was the pretext for the man's removal. Not even the drug scandal. Even before that, the report came out just before he was arrested. But yet we hear people who should know better talking all kinds of foolishness that these things don't make sense and don't mislead the innocent people. Right? We're misleading people. Now, we're hearing also that I heard, unfortunately, our Prime Minister said that he mentioned in 1960 when Grenada had a similar situation. We were a British colony as well, and there was a matter of squandermania. And the then Premier, or Chief Minister he was probably, Eric Gary, was removed because of misappropriation and lack of accountability. Now, I haven't heard any Prime Minister in the region speak out about the corruption and all these things that happened in the Turks and Caicos, in the BVI. None of them, not even our Prime Minister. What our Prime Minister said is very telling. He said that what Gary was removed for is laughable, meaning that it's a joke. You know why? Because the level of corruption that is happening now makes what Gary did look as a joke.
Okay.
And this is sad. I think we need to hear prime ministers and leaders speak about what has happened in the BVI.
Okay.
And stop making it look as though it's an attempt to recolonize a colony. So misleading and confusing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much, Mr. Bernard. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for your participation and your contribution. It is open phone line here on the program. Yes, the number, somebody's asking. The landline number is 435-2041, and the WhatsApp number is also 435-2041 to the questioner. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, my darling, and how are you?
I'm good. How you do?
Hanging in there. I'm a little pain and ups and downs, but I take it one day at a time.
One day at a time.
So how are you doing?
All is well. Can't complain.
Take care of yourself and your health.
I shall do that.
How's my boys and them, Gary and GT?
They're doing good. GT is coming in at 10, and Gary, I saw him this morning, and he's well.
You must give them some love for me.
I will do that.
And Joseph talked yesterday. I wanted to call him and tell him I congratulate him for all the things he said about the men and the fathers of the world, because he knows what men should do for their children, what they shouldn't do. And the next thing we must talk about children. We must call them children of God, not kids of God. God made children, and he says children of God. So people keep calling children kids, and every time they call it children kids, I say, no, it's not kids God saying. He said children of God. But Joseph talked a book yesterday, and he did say children. He didn't bring in the kids that he usually do. And I want people who want to know all to wall today to know the drivers on the road. No, I see them every evening. I go by the road, I stand up, I take some breeze, and I look at them driving like crazy, overtaking the side of the street. So many packed up vehicles. They have others coming down, they're speeding, they're not stopping, they don't looking out for others. They always rush into one another to cross the road, and the road is very narrow in Tempe. There's a lot of buses and cars and things stick up by the side of the road. I want people to understand, drivers to understand, driving fast and speeding is not what takes the lives of people. The driving on the road, the speeding. The accident that caused today is because they're speeding and they're overtaking. Do not try to overtake another vehicle. Do not try to speed your vehicle to reach where you're going, because if you won't reach on time, you'll never reach no time at all. So if you want to reach on time, drive safe and you'll reach on time. Save the lives on the road and save your life. Drive safely. People must understand there is a God who knows how much life he gives us living in the world, and people just go around taking lives. They shooting, they gun, put it down. What they're picking up, the rifle fight is not good to take lives of others. And another point I have for you is the abortion thing. I want Grenadian people to know, when you're going to abort a child, you're aborting a child, this is a life taking. This is how we come into the world. God made us in our mother's womb and form us in there. And the men have to understand, they are the ones that help bring children into the world. Do not neglect them, don't turn your back on them. When you give someone a baby, you have to stay with them from death to them part. You don't turn your back on your children. Mothers have to understand, if the mother had aborted them, they would not have been in the world today. Abortion is something very serious. People, remember, don't say you want your say. Because you don't want to say, oh, okay, you're going to take a baby of me from inside of me. God gave you babies to bring into the world. How you come into the world? If your mother had aborted you, would not have been here today. You have to be in the world to multiply and make more children. And then that's what the world called multiplying, with many children in the world today. Lots of children in the world, lots of human beings in the world because of the mother they have. Mothers have plenty of children. If you don't want children, let the men go their way and you go your way. You don't go and lie down first and get up, plus you're going to get babies. A child have 13, 14 years, they could have children. You have to warn your children, they go into school, go to school and learn well. And when they're 21, 20 years, at the age of adults, that's the time they go to the world. God will send the right companion for them to father their children and for themselves. Now, Sunday we have a Mother's Day. Everybody want to have their child, mommy, that's my mama's day today. I'm going to bring something nice for her. They're going to buy something nice for their mother. Children take care of their mother because mothers take care of their children. Mothers have to understand, you do not neglect children. Don't turn your back on them, don't give them away, and don't abort them.
Okay.
Doctors have to understand that they have to keep God account for all the babies' lives they've taken in the world. When they come to you and they say they want an abortion, send them back. Tell them keep their money and go and break their child.
Okay.
Because if the mother abort them, they will not be in the world today.
Okay.
Yes, you find a little bit too much for you, but it's all right. Don't worry. God is in control. If we pray more in the world and do what God asks us to do, everything will be all right.
All right. Thank
have a best weekend.
You too. Enjoy.
Take care of yourself. Let people of the world know we have children in the world and not kids.
All right.
Take care of them when they bring them into the world. Don't turn your back on them and don't neglect them.
Will do. Thank you very much, Dante. Thank you for your contribution this morning, and happy weekend and happy Mother's Day to you as well. All right, let me go to WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, folks, if your birthday was sometime this month and you're a driver, please remember to renew your driver's license. You can pay online at pay.gov.gd. Have a wonderful day. So this is a reminder for the drivers among us. Today is the 6th of May. Renew your driver's license. Mommy, you come to mind. Today's your birthday. You need to get your driver's licenses renewed. So if you need to do that, head on down to the Treasury, or as the WhatsApper pointed out, you can go onto the government portal or the Ministry of Finance portal to pay online. And when you get to the Treasury, it's just to show them the receipt and get your document, aka your driver's license, instead of standing in the line. It's once again, it is pay.gov.gd, pay.gov.gd. All right, no call. So let me go back to the what? Hold on, let me go to Facebook and then I'll go back to WhatsApp. Somebody on Facebook in relation to our very first caller with the BVI. Somebody says, this song's interesting. Regional governments are being silent for a good reason. Still on Facebook. Let me make sure. Somebody says, lady, you made your point earlier, and that was good. But now with your abortion, speak for yourself, please. Another Facebooker says, the BVI still belongs to the British word caller. The BVI still belongs to the British. I can't understand the rest. Good morning, caller.
Morning.
Good morning. How you do?
I lived in the BVI for about 9 years, just over 9 years. And I went to the BVI just around that time of the year. It was in May, beginning of May, or thereabout. And 2 days after I went there, the man that was responsible basically for I going there to work with a permit, actually, for a company, introduced me about 2 days after I reached there to Mr. Foy. That very man that is being arrested, or has been arrested in America now. And over a period of time, we had an encounter because he was a young, budding politician, and he was actually recognized in the party as the future leader of the country. Because Mr. Ralph, who was the leader at the time, the party that he belonged to, actually was quoting him as the next one to take over in due time. He was a very young guy at the time. Brilliant as they consider him. A very nice kind of person relating to people. Yeah, he's a very cordial kind of guy. I know him to that extent. And when I heard that he was arrested, that baffled me. He being the premier of the country. Now understand that by the time you become premier of a country, it's because the country has been given statehood. 1 point you might say removed from independence. As to whether the people of Tortola will actually seek independence is a big question that is in the air to my mind. Because having lived there, I know the people. I participate in programs like I'm doing in Grenada, like calling programs and so on. And I happen to know that Tortola people very much resent foreigners interfering in their affairs. So that the whole idea of the British taking over the government and running the country directly from Britain, you might say, I know it's to Tortolan people a very resentful thing. Whilst I was there was a governor at the time who used to be going about, like how they operate in Tortola, because you belong to another British territory or you're a British citizen. You don't need to go through all the preliminaries, you might say, all the red tape and the papers that I, for example, have to go through, or you have to go through if you go there. You can appeal to the governor directly and get citizenship for Tortola. And because it was done willy-nilly by the Governor General, given that right, given the Constitution as it made up, the people there had a serious problem with him. Because as far as they are concerned, the the country belongs to them, even though it is not being ruled directly, you might say, by them. They have a parliament, as you might call it. They have a premier. They had, during the time it was chief minister, basically, because it's not long ago that you have statehood to the extent that you have a premier now. And because Mr. Foy, I think, was the first premier. Or was it Mr. Forgetting his name now. Mr. Smith, I think it was. But anyway, what I'm saying here is that I know for sure that the people of Tortola are very resentful of people, foreign, as you might call them, even though it might be considered by some that the British are not foreign because it's their territory. But the people of Tortola believe in they running their own affairs. Okay. So that the British now trying to get that done, where they are ruling directly from Britain, I think it will become a big problem in Tortola, knowing how the people think.
Okay. Thank you very much, caller. I've heard both sides of the story, and it's interesting to see the developments. For those of you who are unaware, residents at the BVI, they've been protesting since Monday. Today's Friday. So since Monday, they've been on the streets protesting. It comes from a report, and one of the recommendations in the report is that the UK more or less takes back running of the BVI, and residents in the BVI. Some residents in the BVI say, "Nah, we ain't want that. Why is all your true scenes? Leave us alone." It's been, I think it's 70 years or so since BVI has been governing themselves, and they want to continue that. So let's see how this unfolds. CARICOM leaders have come out and shown support for BVI people who are saying they do not want the UK back running things directly. So let's see how this unfolds. Let me see, there are a few comments in relation to the BVI situation. I saw some on the abortion issue. We'll get back to that in a little while. Somebody on Facebook says, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. I like that. Power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. All right, let me see what is on WhatsApp. Okay, that's another topic. I'm still looking in relation to the BVI before we move on to another topic. Okay. All right. Okay. So now let's go back to the comment one of the callers make in relation to abortions. There's a situation going on in the United States right now. A leaked document from the Supreme Court in the U.S. suggested also what I'm looking for, ridding of Roe v. Wade law, which gives women the right to an abortion. They want to do away with that right completely, which would mean abortions will be illegal in the United States. There have been arguments on both sides as to which way the law should go, if it goes anywhere. Somebody on Facebook says, abortion is a woman's choice, her body, her choice. There are many reasons a woman would want an abortion. Big facts. And let me premise this by saying I'm not saying that anybody that wants an abortion should have the right to do so, if that makes sense. What I'm saying is there are different situations that would lead to a woman contemplating ending that pregnancy. We have young children who are being taken advantage of by people in their family, people who they trust, whether it's daddy, uncle, priest, preacher, or just assaulted by a stranger. 11 and 12-year-olds should not be made to carry 9-month-old seed of their abuser. There are women who, for health reasons, cannot and should not go full term with a pregnancy. There are so many reasons. There are women who are raped, grown women who are raped, and a few months later realize that you were impregnated by your rapists. Not many people want to carry the seed and the child and bring them into the world of this person who assaulted you, long-lasting memory of your assault. All I'm saying is there are different reasons why a woman may seek to terminate a pregnancy. And the law, if the law is changed in the U.S., it does not make provisions for those instances. It doesn't matter your situation. It is illegal to have an abortion, and that's what the law is paving the way for in the United States. And I think that's the greatest argument by the people who are saying, let a woman decide what takes place with her body. And I agree. And the people in the Supreme Court, I think there are only 1 or 2 women on the Supreme Court, like in the Supreme Court in the U.S. The rest of them are men. And that rubs me the wrong way. Men making decisions about women. That rubs me the wrong way. That's all right. Let's go back to the lines. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom.
Morning.
Blossom, are you happy to be alive?
Yes, I am.
Right. Blossom, regardless of the condition that is calling for an abortion, abortion is murder of the unborn. The people who are promoting, supporting, and calling for abortion, are they not happy to be alive? They want to be alive. They're glad to be alive. And if they think that we could commit the abortion and they would get away from the judgment from God, they are making a grave mistake. Because God is the one who gave that child, regardless of how your condition is, how you get it, whether you're raped, if it's your father or your brother, you have sex with and you get pregnant. Why kill the innocent unborn child? The child didn't have any part to play in what you did or what happened. So why should that child be punished by killing it? Everybody who are alive, glad and happy to be alive, despite of how much trouble they see in the form they might be, they are happy to be alive because life comes from God. And anybody who thinks they're going to escape the judgment of God for committing that kind of crime against the unborn, against this innocent person. Because remember, God has a plan for every human being that is going to commit it. He has a plan. But because we forget God, we don't have any connection with God, we do what we think, what we want, what we feel, and we don't consult God. But God has a plan. There are many women who I've heard about who was raped, and they brought the child. The child is happy to be alive. The child has become something, and they have their child to look after them in their old age. So they don't come on with this abortion thing. This is murder, and it's a crime against the innocent, and it's a crime in the eyes of God.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ms. Jeremiah, and I hear what you're saying. I just have a different opinion in some instances. Somebody on Facebook says abortion should be up to the female. No man, courts, etc. should have a right. Another Facebooker says a bunch of men making this decision for us. Another Facebooker, even the baby's father does not have an opinion. Okay, even the baby's father does not have an opinion on whether the female should have an abortion or not. I have 2 thoughts on that one. Let me go back by WhatsApp. Nothing on WhatsApp, so I'm going back to Facebook. Hold on, wait. Let me look on YouTube. Nothing on YouTube. Back to Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, the proponents of abortion have already been born. Another Facebook. If Grenada was run... Okay, wait. Hold on. That's something else. Hold on. I'm trying to keep up. Good morning, caller. Good morning.
A pleasant good morning to you, my dear Blossom.
Morning. How you do?
I just want to say a heartfelt thank you to all the mothers of Grenada, of the diaspora, and especially to those of us whose mom has gone before, but has laid the foundation and taught us to work hard so that we can, achieve whatever we want and make our mark to look after our families. We are eternally grateful. Thank you is not enough. We remember them with love and passion. You know, the time they take to bake the pork and the pudding and just to look after us. We are immensely grateful to all our women in the parliamentarians and those, you know, who have gone before too, has laid the foundation, the doctors, whatever profession you are, even the street cleaners. I say think about the domestic workers that, you know, slave and labored all of the time to make sure we can be in the offices and we could be at the high sides. We say thank you, thank you. Have a blessed day and Sunday, and please remember and take care of our parents that are alive with love. They deserve it. They're the best. Without them, they know us. Thank you, Blossom. Have a blessed weekend.
Thanks. You do the same. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your Mother's Day weekend. Let me go back to Facebook. Somebody, the abortion topic has generated a lot of conversation. Somebody on Facebook, where did the thing just go? Goodness gracious. Right. Somebody on Facebook says, the people making the decision are old men out of touch with reality. Still on no callers, so still on Facebook. Exactly, there are different reasons why, and they should have the rights. There are different reasons why, and they should have the rights to have an abortion. The law would only allow people to do it undercover if it's passed, and that's another concern of mine. Even when the law was put in place, it was still such a taboo subject that there were so many women going as what they call underground, to have underground abortions and have encountered so many problems and issues. And even if the Roe v. Wade is repealed and abortion is illegal, they would return to going back underground, which would create more health problems, and that's another concern of mine. At least with the ability to do it properly in place, there were people seeking the proper medical assistance to do it. And it just might revert to the days of more issues among issues. Another... Oh, Graham, really... let me see. For those of you commenting on the help me comment on Facebook, I wish I saw what the original comment was. They would know what I'm speaking about. I didn't see the original comment. All right. Facebook. Caller, you are kind of off base. It's not a child they are killing. Still on Facebook. I'm going on Facebook until I see the phone ringing. Still on Facebook, somebody says, because God gave us the power of choice, not man. Abortion, according to the word of God, is a sin. God's word is, thou shalt not kill. Taking an innocent life is a sin. Good morning, caller.
Good morning again.
Good morning.
The American system is so complex and complicated, that to enforce certain nationwide laws like that one is very difficult, So that even if it has become illegal, or it would become illegal to abort a child. For example, the governor of Pennsylvania has already vowed to ignore the idea of the ruling. So that here you have a renegade already. How would you enforce it in every state? It becomes a very difficult in the way the governorship of America is. Yes, you have a president, but every state is governed by a governor to quite an extent independently of the total and absolute administration of the Supreme Court and the White House and so on. Okay. So, and even the Congress or House of Representatives, the individual states have certain rights to enforce or ignore.
Okay.
And seeing that the governor of Pennsylvania has already vowed to ignore it, they have an anomaly. Take care.
Thank you very much, caller. I'm aware that according to the system, if abortion becomes illegal nationally, it will be up to the individual states to put whichever laws they want in place. So far, there are a lot of states who are making it illegal, abortion. Just Today's Friday, so if not this week, late last week, another governor signed one of the, what's what I'm looking for? One of the thingies to make it illegal. What is what I'm looking for? I can't remember the word I'm looking for. So it's still up to the states, but it's still a problem. Somebody else on Facebook says, let's leave Roe v. Wade as is. As a young girl child, you are not supposed to bring your father's child into this world. Let's take a break and then we're going to come back and continue the discussion. Like I said, the abortion comment is generating a lot of conversation in the comments. Let's see what happens on the other side of the break. This is To The Point on Classic and GBN. We'll be right back.
Mr. Mention the wing high, then you have things like man, you must come back, you know. We have the low power there.
It is kind of like the same man, and it's just different name for the same kind of thing.
And last but not least, I just want to say to all the men who saw me, call me, and ask for a piece of cake. I'm baking this weekend.
Join us Fridays at 8 on GBN Television, K105 FM, GBN's Facebook page, and YouTube channel for We Culture.
Grenada's Chief Medical Officer has ordered that all confirmed positive COVID-19 individuals, their contacts, and members of their household must remain in quarantine or isolation for 14 days. Anyone who fails to comply with this order will be in breach of the Public Health COVID-19 Regulations 2020 and is guilty of an offense. Upon summary conviction, that person will be liable to a penalty of up to $10,000. A message from the Ministry of Health.
The most anticipated family fun-filled event on the GBN calendar is back. The Maggie King of the Grill. Join us on June 4th at Montrouge. Be part of the culinary masterpiece as the best grillers on island compete for the coveted title of the Maggie King of the Grill. Think you have what it takes? Be part of the action. June 4th. Book your spot. If not, step away from the grill. If you can't handle the heat. The most anticipated family fun-filled event on the GBN calendar is back. The Maggie King of the Grill. Join us on June 4th at Montrouge. Be part of the culinary masterpiece as the best grillers on island compete for the coveted title of the Maggie King of the Grill. Think you have what it takes? Be part of the action. June 4th. Book your spot. If not, step away from the grill. If you can't handle the heat.
This
Welcome back to The Point. It's open line here on the program, giving our viewers and listeners an opportunity to call us or message us with anything they'd like to share. Once again, the landline number 435-2041. That is also the WhatsApp number, and you can continue to post your comments, questions, queries, concerns on Facebook, on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page and the GBN Production YouTube channel. Let's go back to the landline. Good morning, caller.
Yes, child. Sorry to have to come back. Somebody was saying that you're not killing a child. When a human being gets pregnant, what they give birth to? A dog, a cat, a pig? When you're not killing a child, what you mean? In science, they call them a zygote. They call them fetus. What is a human being? You are bringing human only reproduces human. You don't reproduce animal or anything else. So when you could say what you're killing is not a child, what are you killing? That's foolishness. And you see, this abortion thing in the States is become an industry because they're using those, what they call them fetus, to do things to make product. It's an industry. It is an industry for production of other things. That is what they're doing. They make lipstick and all them kind of things from this human part, this baby part. It's become an industry in the States because millions and millions of babies are aborted every year.
Okay.
It's time to stop this murder.
Okay.
Oh, gosh, have mercy on us.
Thank you very much. in relation to when you become I guess what they're saying is you're a fetus there, and then it depends on your belief and point of view. There are some who say you become a human being when you're born, like when you, what's the word again? Personhood. When you are born, that's when you're considered a human. But there are others who say humanhood starts at fertilization. So it depends on your point of view. When does being a human start? And that's a serious conversation and a serious argument. When does humanhood start? All right. Somebody on Facebook says, God does have a plan for us, yes. But some people like to cherry pick which of God's plans they follow. Okay, no. Let me go on WhatsApp. There were a few WhatsAppers. Let me see if I can get a call on. I don't think I can get a call on. Good morning. Hello? Okay, so I can't take calls on WhatsApp. Only messages and possibly voice notes. Okay? All right, so let's go back. Somebody on Facebook says ask the caller if she's gotten pregnant by a relative, will she carry the child? Another, hold on, let me go to this caller and then we will go back. WhatsApp, what are you really doing with me? Hold on. My WhatsApp not cooperating cooperatively. Let me go to Facebook while WhatsApp restarts. Somebody on Facebook says, it depends on your opinion, your views. Many may have different views re-abortion, and let's respect those views. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. How are you, lady?
I'm good. How you do?
I'm not complaining. Interesting, but I don't really call for that topic. But
no problem. It's open.
What I want to say is that sometimes we take the Bible. Yes, that's the principle, that the blueprint we should be following and everything like that. But we know when was stand on the line and this lady lied and said that the spies were not there and she had them hid. And because of that, her life was spared when I think it was Israel was going to take over some place anyway. So the Bible said, "I shall not lie," but she lied and said the spies was not there when they was inside hiding, right? And because of that, she was blessed, she was saved, her family was saved. So we have to be careful, Yes, it is the blueprint of life, and the argument of Mr. Jeremiah and thing there. A person, the Bible said that God knew us since before we born. So whether it's what God, so how you call it in the womb, is a person, right? If they had to charge you for whatever, it would not be, it would something close to be, close to being you did kill, whatever. Now, there's a thing with GBN. For those of us who live in the country, when we listen to the news on 105.9, we hear the headlines, and only what we get in the details is just the local news. I think GBN should reconsider this, because they bring on the advertisement, and right after the advertisement, they bring that announcement. So you don't get the original news, you don't get the international news. You only hear the headlines when it has been read to start the news. So I think that for people who cannot get, and on the western side, some places you don't get another station except that 105.9. So I think they have to if you bring the news, I think everybody should give them the opportunity to hear the news, instead of cutting it off, bring only part, the local part, and then you can't hear the rest. I think that one should consider that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much, caller. That issue was raised by Citizen Rolo last week, if I'm not mistaken. So I would bring it, rebring is not a word, Blossom. I would bring it to the powers that be once again and let them know there are other people who share the views that something else should be done in some way. Thank you very much, caller. Still on Facebook, or back to Facebook. Somebody says, people always like to bring in God. Doesn't the Bible say lots and people ain't following? Another, okay, let me scroll down. All right, WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, abortions should be allowed with conditions. I can get on board with that. For lack of a better phrase, you have to meet certain criteria to be eligible. You know, it has to be a certain situation for you to be eligible. There has to be a legitimate reason other than I did big people activities, but I don't want a baby. I see what you're saying, WhatsApper. Good point, WhatsApper. Not everyone alive is happy to be alive. Secondly, such laws do not take mental and psychological health and well-being into account. I can't understand how wombless men are making decisions for wombed persons. I like that. Wombless. Yeah, I think that's one of the things that does not sit right with me. People telling me what I can do with my body. While I'm not a person who would get an abortion, I still don't. I'll take it differently if somebody tell me I shouldn't get one. Let me make my own decisions what happens to this body that I take care of on a 24-hour basis. Yeah. All right, let me see. Landline. No. Back on WhatsApp. Somebody says, I don't support abortion. I'm happy to be alive, having to be conceived through rape. I was loved by my family. I pray that my deceased mother rests in peace. I pray she rests in peace as well. Thank you very much, WhatsApp, and I'm happy that you're happy to be alive. What I'm getting is you're saying you're a product of rape. So I'm happy that you're happy. We're not saying that the child may not be loved, but there are situations where if it's an 11-year-old and we know it's happening, in Grenada we are dealing regularly, if not daily, with child sexual abuse. And we have 11-year-olds and 12-year-olds, some children young as 8 years old being sexually molested and assaulted. If a 10-year-old gets pregnant, the 9 months of a pregnancy and labor, it's tough. Grown women can't handle it sometimes. What's going to happen to the fragile body of a 10, 11, 12-year-old? Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Blossom.
Morning.
Blossom.
Hi.
I'll use another strategy to being able to get through.
Go ahead.
Yes, I've been blocked, and that's all I have to say. For the past few months, I cannot get you because I told one person. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you what I told the person. A little bit of learning is a dangerous thing. And I'm hearing it here now. You, to some extent, you are capable of managing yourself. You could make a decision, but not everybody could make the right decision. Even when I listen to program, people call in and say they making a point. For example, even a few minutes back, people have a tendency to believe. You could enlighten me. Who are animals and what are who are water animals? I want to know, are we an animal? We could be a different class of animals. Maybe because I don't know. We could be the higher class or we could be the highest class of animals. We could have, as you say we are. So enlighten me, or let somebody else enlighten us. A lot of people are calling and saying things that are not true. And they want poor little me, an uneducated man like me, to believe those things. It hurts me to see what is happening, maybe in Grenada and in parts of the world. The people that say things and want you to believe are those that don't entitled to have the what should I say, maybe the intelligent to educate people. Thank you very much.
Hi, hello. Okay, I wanted to hear which parts he was having issues with. I'm not sure I grasped the parts that, were wrong. But thank you very much, caller, for participating. All right, let me see. Still on WhatsApp. Back to WhatsApp. Somebody says, in my opinion, rape is wrong, but abortion is taking a life and this is a sin. But stringent laws and punishment should be given to the males committing this crime. Perhaps remove the parts which the men cannot control. In addition, let us educate our young children about their bodies and how they should behave. Another WhatsApper. The men in Supreme Court can make a decision on the rights of a woman's body, yet cannot make a decision on the rights of the black people to vote in the United States. Table knock in honor of the late great Jericho. Somebody else on WhatsApp. Everyone has the right to make their own decisions, not having anyone doing it for them. God forgives, and if they did have an abortion, He will forgive them. Yes, please do ask her. I have the same question for her. Okay, all right. I think I put two and two together. Another one. Why should I allow my young daughter to carry the child of her own father? Somebody simply says the body belongs to God. Okay, somebody supporting the caller about GBN News. Abortion solves an immediate problem, but it creates 1,000 in the future. What we need is proper counseling for all. All right, let me see if there are more. Well, there are more comments. Oh, there are a lot of comments on the Facebook. I would have to weed through them. I'll do so when we take... let's take another very quick break, and then we're going to come back and close off this morning's program. It is To the Point here on Classic and GBN. We shall be right back.
This is a message from the Ministry of Health. If you or a family member suspect that you may have contracted COVID-19 and are displaying symptoms, please immediately self-isolate at home. This means that you must also avoid all contact with other members of your household. Do not visit hospitals or health centers, as this creates the potential for further spread of the virus, and it puts additional persons at risk when you come into contact with them. Your best course of action is to call the COVID-19 hotline at 458-4787 or 538-4787, or contact your nearest health center or medical station. Once your information has been received, health officials will come to you. Help prevent the spread of COVID-19. This has been a message from the Ministry of Health.
It is important to know what your road signs and markings means. The zigzag lines means you should not park in the marked area. Parking is allowed inside the solid white lines on the edge of the road. Remember, look out for pedestrians. Pedestrians, be sure the vehicle comes to a complete stop before crossing. These tips can save your life. These tips can make our roads safer for all users. Be safe, be seen, be smart. A message from the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force.
Protect yourself and our community from COVID-19. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. If soap and water are not available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with at least 70% alcohol. Use a tissue when blowing your nose, sneezing, or coughing. Immediately discard the tissue properly and wash or sanitize your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Let's do our part to ensure that each and every Grenadian remains healthy. To stay up to date, visit the Government of Grenada's webpage or the Ministry of Health's Facebook page. For more information, contact the Ministry of Health's hotline by calling 53-VIRUS. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by the Ministry of Health.
Welcome back to the Point Open Line Friday. Right back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. Are you still there?
Greetings, Christine Blossom.
Greetings. How you do?
Well, trying to be strong, trying to be in there.
Okay, keep trying, and thanks for holding. Go right ahead.
My Blossom.
Yes.
Blossom, Blossy. So tell me something. You are back with us, Blossoming?
Yes, I am.
Well, another question. Have you blossomed to the extent that you can celebrate Mother's Day? As I'm here, people saying Happy Mother's Day.
Yes, I am.
Oh, you have blossomed. Congratulations, Happy Mother's Day to all those who blossomed. And let me ask another question. Anyone who had committed abortion, and by whatever means they have not had any other children, do you think they have blossomed to be a mother?
Possibly, yes.
Possibly, so we're not certain. Anyhow, I also thinking, this is not really my substantial point. Your surname is Blossom. Maybe it's not too common. But do you think that you might be on the side hoping to blossom in an election when some other person whose surname is Blossom, so that you can go and compete? Because right now, this election seems to be quite unique. We have some people have similar names running, if not in the same constituency, but at least for Prime Minister. We have two Mitchells, or Mitchell V's, whatever, two Thomases. I find we go in places we are always making fuss. So I'm giving you a challenge. See how you can get somebody who can have a similar name to you, and let's see who will blossom in that constituency, please. Since you entered into GBN, I recognize you have been taking a stand. Well, now and then, all of us weak, strong, all of us have our ups and downs. But to me, on certain issues you have been on certain issues which are controversial, I think you have been going contrary. And at times I should be frightened for you. But I recognize you are still here. And last week, I heard you made a point when you were closing up in terms of elections. And I was kind of timid. I wanted to call, but I didn't get you.
What said?
In terms of the message, I should say, the instruction, the advice given by the Prime Minister 2 weeks ago, I think, at his rally in terms of, well, in my own words, I don't want to be sued, nor the station be sued, that you can vote without having your new ID once you're on the thing. And then, while you make reference to it, you were very cautious and you were correct. When you go to me a little contrary saying, giving the people, please, to be on the safe side, work with the ID. And I want to congratulate you for that. And I hope there's nothing coming out of that in terms against you.
No,
but I want to go further to say at this point in time, because I'm critical on certain areas and certain institutions, including on the election, and particularly the parliamentary elections office. But I want to take this opportunity to give 100% congratulations to the present supervisor of elections, at least on that issue of voting with an ID. And I'm hoping that I've not heard it on your station. Maybe it is there. But on another station, I've heard an advertisement, which your station should start carrying, from the PEO, Supervisor of Election, encouraging persons to get a card renewed, and encouraging persons within the law to work with their ID card for voting, contrary to what was done years ago by many officials of the elections office in the last election, and by the previous, the former election officer.
Time to wrap up.
So, I want your station, it could be done free. It's a sovereign duty to get the advertisement and let the general population be aware and play it often as possible. What is required officially, legally for voting.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good weekend.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. You do the same. Thank you very much, caller. All right. There are a lot of comments on the Facebook. Some of them I missed. One that I remember seeing from Mr. Dabo asking if abortion is legal in Grenada or is it illegal? I can't remember the exact question, but the answer is abortion is illegal in Grenada. It cannot be done legally. Yeah, let's say it like that. All right. It's time for us to wrap up. So let me just randomly give you two more comments on the Facebook one. Somebody on Facebook says abortion is wrong. Imagine you a child and it looks like your daddy. Okay. And then on WhatsApp, this one. Somebody says, if the body is a woman, she should be careful and not get pregnant. It should be legal for victims of rape and incest. But the real issue is a late abortion should not end in a live child being thrown away. Those mothers should allow the child to be adopted. There are women's rights, but what about the child's rights to be born? And they are responsible to God for what is done. Heather, I agree with everything you've said. I'm going through it. Yes, everything you said. I agree that there should be leeway for victims of sexual assault, rape, whether it's incest or otherwise, that they should have the option. If it's a grown woman that just doing big people thing all over the place and realize she's pregnant, and then that's another story. That's where I feel like you did big people things, stand the consequences. Late abortion as well, when I've heard stories, not really in Grenada, but children going full term and mommy either threw them in the garbage or threw them in the toilet, or those things sadden me. So I agree with you. Adoption is always an option. Ooh, rhyming. Adoption is always an option. And I am an advocate for adoption. Amen. All right, it is time for us now to end the program. Thank you very much to each and every one of you for participating this morning, whatever topic you participated in. Appreciate your listenership, your viewership, whichever platform you use. Those of you on Facebook, bless up all yourselves. 133 comments. I know I missed maybe 120 of them. There are so many. Look, as we speak, there are 77 new comments as we end the program. I'm sorry that I can't read them all, but I do appreciate each and every one of you for participating. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me take the opportunity to wish each and every mother out there a happy Mother's Day weekend. Whatever role of motherhood you play, whether it's biological, adoptive, a godmother, an aunt who is being a mother, a big sister who is being a mother, whatever role you play, bless up yourselves. Have a fantastic weekend. Hopefully the children who you mother would make it special for each and every one of you. Congratulations, and keep doing what you're doing. That's the end of my time for today. Making the way for GT to come in for Mid-Morning Buzz. Have yourselves a safe and enjoyable weekend. I'll be back Monday, God willing. Have yourselves a blessed weekend.